I have a similar experience. For me, like, I came here years ago to LA. I went to, like, I just graduated college. I wanted to be like the starving artist. I was pre-law, supposed to go to law school. But my parents are Caribbean, so they're just like, nurse, doctor, engineer, or lawyer. Like, those are your options. You can't just, like, do that. So I'm like, I gotta follow my dreams. So after I graduated, went to LA. I was like pretty much homeless, couch surfing, going everywhere, trying to figure it all out together. And then it didn't work out. I had to like go back home.
Right.
And then I worked at like a restaurant job for like a year, saved up.
What'd you do at the restaurant? What restaurant?
Oh, it was Margaritaville in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, yes. You a country girl
Literally,
from Nashville?
I've never listened to a country song in my life until I moved to Nashville.
Baby, your song, you make me want to roll my window down and cruise. Yeah, I see you.
So, okay, literally, I like hated like country music before I moved to Nashville, because in Nashville, it's like country music capital. And they have like 5 radio stations. 4 of them are country. One of them is like pop, hip hop. And so I know I was working at this restaurant every Friday and Saturday night. They would play all the country hits. So when you're listening to the song over and over again every Friday and Saturday night, you're just like, oh, this is a bop. Like, this is actually good.
They're good, yeah.
Yeah. So then I started doing that, and then I got like my big break. I got my first acting agent in Nashville, and it was because they literally told me that they signed me because I was the only person in Nashville who didn't talk like this with a country accent. And I was like, what? Like, I was so like, because I've never lived in a place like that. And I was just like, I was so confused. I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, everybody has the same accent. And like, when you watch TV, like people have like that, like a certain accent for TV, like California accent, unless they're doing a country show or whatever, where they would have a different accent. So I was like, well, get in where you fit in. So I like was in this agency my first time, like being like working with an agent.
Ooh. And
they literally, my first job was in the middle of a snowstorm. Nobody wanted to drive to the casting, and I was like, this is it, I gotta do it. So like they're like, it might be slippery, black ice, your safety matters. I'm like, my safety, I need to book this job.
I'm about to get this one. This is mine right here.
I was like,
I'm going in basement.
Literally. And so I was like, I'm gonna go. I went, I booked it, and I was like my first like plus size modeling job. And then I did a string of really bad and corny car commercials. Like, the like, oh, if you got into an accident, call it 1-800-so-and-so. And I did those like every weekend. It was like $100 a pop. I just like had like a regular gig going. And I was like, okay, I think I could do better. So then I went.
That's still pretty good though.
I mean,
I would have killed for $100 a week. No, that ass. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know, but like you can't really live and eat with $100. Like, thank God.
You can pick one.
So I can eat and then like live under a bridge, or you can't even live with 100. Anyways, so I was like, I did that, and then I went to so after that it was like around my birthday. And then my older brother, who never gives me a birthday present, he was like, isn't your birthday like coming up or whatever? I was like, yeah. He's like, what do you want? I don't know why I said this. I was like, I want a round trip ticket to New York City because I'd never been to New York. I just want to try it or whatever. And he's like, okay, cool, I got your ticket. I'm like, what? You're going to give me, like, you're going to buy a ticket for me? And so my mom's like, okay, well, I'll just get you your Airbnb, and there you go. It's like a birthday trip. And I was like, okay.
Ooh.
Yes. So I've never been to New York City at that time, even though my parents like met in Brooklyn. They're from New York, whatever. But I like was born in Jersey. I grew up in Orlando. So I was in New York for like the first time, and I'm just like, everything that could go right for me went right. It was like the stars aligned. Like I was meant to be there. It was so different from when I went to LA.
Nashville. Oh.
Well, Nashville was like a bridge. It was like a bridge. It was like a really great starting point. So like, I had an acting coach tell me one time,
Wait, so you're really good at acting?
I feel like I'm good at the arts. I'm good at everything art-wise. So like singing, acting,
painting, poetry.
Oh no, I can't. I'm not really great at painting or drawing. So performing arts.
Okay. So poetry.
I play guitar.
No.
Do I do spoken word?
No,
I don't know. Maybe sometimes. I'd rather sing than
Okay.
do
Oh,
spoken
so
word.
opera.
Not opera.
No. Okay.
John Moss.
I'm
just saying, like, that's what I love to do, and that's what people tell me I'm good at. Okay.
But.
That's what I do. So like, where was I? So I was in New York, and when I tell you, the stars aligned. Like, I found money on the floor.
That's my favorite. Oh, I see you there. Who you on to? When it's not linked to a string? Oh my gosh.
No, you know the craziest story. Let me tell you about how I found this money.
Go for it.
It was so I walk into like this like Brooklyn shop or whatever. I'm just like getting a couple things. It was cold. I didn't know how cold it was in New York. It's cold, guys. So I got this like little puffer jacket or whatever, and this like sweet older black woman was like, hey, like, I can't afford this. Can you get this for me? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. You know, like, I didn't think it was a big deal.
The puffer jacket?
No, she like got some leggings and a tank top. It was like just a couple things. She's like, I don't have enough money. Can you get this for me? I was like, yeah, sure. Not a big deal. So the cashier, though, she's like, doesn't want to ring it up. She doesn't want to sell me the clothes. And I'm like,
why?
Exactly. And I was like,
paying for it.
Exactly. And she's like, this lady's in here every day trying to hustle people to buy her clothes. Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to help her out. You don't need to buy her clothes. She's always in here trying to get people to buy stuff for her. And I was like, but it's my money. Can I spend it how I want to spend it?
It's my money and I'll spend it now.
Yeah, I was like, bro, like, I don't care. Like, let me just buy, the stuff. So I buy the stuff, and the lady's like, thank you, whatever. Didn't think of it again. This is how good God is. And
the
how
lady was secretly a millionaire, and she gave you a whole bunch of money.
Hey, I'm waiting for that day. I'm waiting for that day.
Okay.
But I go next door to like get something to eat. And I'm just like, I order my food. I'm sitting down by the window just watching as I like watching the street as they eat. And I see the lady, and she like changed into the clothes I bought her. She's wearing the clothes. And then she walks and she waves to me. I was like, oh, hey. And I waved to her. Right after that moment, I go into the bathroom and I find a wad full of cash. Like a wad full of cash, this thick. No name, no identification.
That is pretty thick. Do it again. Let me see.
This thick.
That is thick. That's a thick
Literally,
wad of cash.
no identifiers.
If I had some money, it didn't matter what type of bill it was. I could have a bunch of ones this thick. It's pretty nice.
Literally.
I'm like, I would rather it be like, 20s, 50s, and 100s, but.
So then where was I? Okay. So I see the thick wad full of cash, and I'm like, God, like, did this fall from heaven? Like, no, honestly, I really feel like it was like a drug bust. Like, somebody didn't want to get caught with this like drug money or blood money, and they chuck it. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
The craziest thing, right, is being that you saw the lady pass, the older lady pass. There's a good chance she was just in there, and when she went to change her leggings, that wad of cash fell out of the pants she had on before she put on the leggings.
I just happened to get it.
And you just happened upon it. Like, oh, look at me. Thank you so much. You're like, hey.
Hey, however, I was blessed.
Yeah,
okay,
like that's a good time though.
So, and then I met this lady who was like a runway like a superstar, but the plus size bald-headed black woman, and she.
You had to specify she was bald.
Yes, because she's known for being bald. Like, she's like the bald-headed like.
What's her name?
Her name is Sharon Quinn, the runway diva. I love you, Miss Sharon. She's amazing.
She loves you, Miss Sharon.
And then I met her, and she taught me how to runway walk. Like, she worked with me. And I never modeled before. I'd never done anything. I never wanted to be a model. I never saw myself as a model, because people, like, when I was growing up, they'd be like, oh, you're so pretty. You could be a model if you lost 100 pounds. And, like, they would say that all the time. Like, you're really pretty. If you just lost, like 70, 100 pounds, you'd be a model.
You said 800 pounds. God
70 to 800 pounds.
Oh, okay. I was like, how big was you as a kid? Like, you was fucking it up.
No,
like, I wasn't even trying to be rude.
Yeah,
that's good. But I wasn't even trying to be rude. I was just like, that's crazy. Like, I've heard of My 600 Life. Have you seen My 600-Pound Family?
Yes, and My 600-Pound Life, the sisters, they be rocking bikinis to the beach. They don't
they need to enjoy themselves.
They be
live their lives.
Right. So I was like, I was doing that, whatever, and she, from that, because she met me and she like worked with me, she kept me in mind and invited me to her casting for New York Fashion Week, because she was doing a show.
Yes.
So, like, when I say everything happened like how it was supposed to happen, it was just so crazy how that happened. And the next thing, like the stars were aligned. The next thing, I go back to the Airbnb, I check my email after like having the whole crazy day with that lady. And the email, I get a random TJ Maxx commercial, like, oh, here's an audition for TJ Maxx. But it was one of those cattle calls. I'm like, oh, probably 1 million people, applied for this. I don't even think it's real.
Right.
And so they asked me, like, they had to fill out a questionnaire. It was like 20 questions. And one of the first questions was, where do you live? At the time, I was living in Nashville, but I happened to be in New York. So I was just like, I'm going to put New York. I don't know where they are. I'm just going to put New York because I'm here. After I filled it out, 20 minutes later, they called me and they said, we're in New York. You're in New York. Do you want to come in for an in-person audition? I said, yeah. So never taken the subway before. I like put on my big hat, my coat because it was cold, figured out the subway system, got to the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Okay.
I walk in and she says, okay, we're just going to take a video of you. You can just talk to yourself. I'll ask you a couple questions. So they just asked me a couple questions. I just start talking about who I am as a person. Like,
you love doing that.
Do I?
A little bit.
What are you trying to say, John Moss?
You're the type of person that would have a podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So anyways, I do that. And then she's like, okay, well, good luck. And I was like, okay. I go back to Nashville. I get a call back, another call back, another call back. I book it. And then they send a driver to my house.
From New York to Nashville.
Well, they hired a driver in Nashville.
Okay.
To come to my house.
To drive to New York.
To drive to the airport so that I could fly to
And then
LA.
you had another driver in LA.
In LA.
Oh my God.
It was fancy.
Yeah.
It was fancy. My dad's like, who's this man in front of my house with the tinted windows?
Daddy.
I was like, that's my ride.
I done did it. It's my time to shine.
So yeah, I booked the commercial. I did the TJ Maxx commercial. It played globally everywhere. That's how people like started recognizing me. And I moved to New York, signed with 2 modeling agencies, walked in New York Fashion Week, and the rest is history. I've been doing that since then.
The rest is history. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Dang, are you proud of yourself?
I'm very proud of myself.
Yes. You should look at every single step that you have made as an accomplishment. Each and every day you wake up, that's another day to do one more amazing thing because you started from Nashville, being on the radio, doing car commercials, and now you're a model in Hollywood, California. Like, how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, because
I feel really grateful.
Yeah, that's a lot of years, like, to go from one thing to another. Like, how many years has it been?
7.
Oh, so you've been at this for a minute.
Yeah.
The consistency is wild.
Yeah.
You proud of yourself? What do you think is like the number one thing you would tell to younger models coming into the space? Plus size models. Let's like, you know what I'm saying? Younger models in general. Let's go universally.
Don't listen to people when they tell you need to lose 100 pounds to be a model. That's not true. Like, do what makes you happy, do what you love, and don't worry about other people's opinions, because as soon as you start listening to other people's opinions, that's what keeps you down. And that's one thing that I never did. That was one thing I had since I was like a little girl. I just didn't listen to people. People told me I couldn't do. Yes, very hard-headed, stubborn. People told me I couldn't do all the things that I'm doing now. They're like, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. Just like, it's a shot in the dark. Get a real job. Like, what are you doing?
No.
And
they shouldn't tell you that. Nah, because you're doing phenomenally. What is it? You're independent. You're beautiful. You know what I'm saying, made it on your own. You got, 2 places now? In 2 of the richest cities in the world?
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on now. Good. Can we get a small round of applause?
Hey, God is good. He blessed me.
Yes. Yes.
Because if it's meant to be, then it'll be a love song.